Back in 2022, I rented out my basement apartment on Airbnb to make extra cash. I live in a quiet suburb just outside of Denver, and the basement had a separate entrance, a bathroom, and a small kitchenette. Nothing fancy, but perfect for travelers or remote workers. One weekend in early fall, I got a booking from a guy named Travis. No red flags. His profile had a few reviews, all positive, though they were a couple of years old. He messaged me saying he was in town for a job interview and might extend his stay if it went well. He checked in on a Friday afternoon. I never saw him in person, but I have a Ring camera facing the backyard entrance. The guy looked mid-30s, average build, wearing a baseball cap and carrying a duffel bag. He waved at the camera like he knew it was there. For the first few days, everything was normal. He kept to himself, didn't make any noise, and didn't message me. But by Monday, I noticed something odd. His car hadn't moved. I walk my dog every morning, and his blue Subaru was always parked in the same spot. On Tuesday, I sent him a message through the app, just checking in. He replied quickly, "All good, thanks. Interview went well. Might stay longer, I'll update you soon." I left it at that, but the next few nights I kept hearing strange noises from the vents, like dragging sounds. At first, I thought maybe he had a suitcase or something heavy he was moving around, but it was happening at 2 or 3 in the morning. I decided to glance through the Ring history, and that's when I noticed something I hadn't before. There was never any footage of him leaving, not once. He came in Friday at 4:37 p.m. Since then, nothing. No footage of him exiting to smoke, get groceries, take a walk, nothing. I messaged him again on Wednesday. No reply. By Friday, a full week after check-in, I was getting genuinely nervous. I called Airbnb support and asked if I could do a wellness check. They gave me the green light, so I knocked on the basement door around noon. No answer. I knocked again, louder. Still nothing. I opened the door slowly. The basement lights were off and it was dead silent. I called out, "Travis," and stepped inside. The air was stale. I flipped on the light and instantly felt a wave of unease. The bed was made. The bathroom was clean. The kitchenette looked untouched. But something was off. It felt too clean, like it had been scrubbed down. Then I noticed the crawlspace door. It was a square panel near the bottom of the wall behind the bed. I'd never opened it myself, but it led to a narrow utility area, maybe 4 feet tall, mostly used for pipes and electrical. The panel was slightly ajar. I didn't want to open it, but I had to. I crouched down and slowly pulled it open. The light from the room barely reached inside. I turned on my phone flashlight and aimed it in. What I saw made my stomach drop. Inside were food wrappers, empty water bottles, a pair of socks, and a used blanket. Someone had been living in there. I backed away, heart pounding. I called the police immediately. They arrived within minutes, searched the property top to bottom, and found no one. But they did find a small wireless camera tucked into the vent, pointing into the living space. Travis was never identified. The profile was fake. The reviews were likely fabricated, and the ID used to book the room was stolen. He'd lived in my crawlspace, watched the main room from the vent, and used the space only when I wasn't home. The scariest part? The cops think he never left during that week. They believe he stayed hidden the entire time I was home, only coming out when I went to work or slept, possibly even coming upstairs to use my bathroom or grab food. Needless to say, I stopped using Airbnb after that. I also sealed that crawlspace shut for good.